So, good afternoon, students. We are continuing with the review of literature as a third unit. Next topic to discuss is steps in literature review. So, when we conduct a literature review, and there is a standard format and step is there. First step is identify location. We have discussed in the previous class what are the important locations for literature review. It can be a library or a government department, etc., or it can be any other internet sources. So identify the location from where you will get pertinent literature related to your study, where that is available. For example, if you are doing a research on cancer, the important journals you may get or an information you may get from the regional cancer center. So they have a library, they have a lot of cancer registries, a lot of information related to different types of cancers and its treatments, prevalence, incidence, etc. from RCC. So identify exact location for your literature. Then find source. So once you reach the location, there will numerous sources will be there, and you find sources, and that's very important. Otherwise you will be wasting a lot of time if you are searching all sources. So find source, whether it is a book or journal or any other source, and if it is a journal also, in which journal and what is the page number of that particular journal. So you identify that. Then if you are going with the clear what to search, where you will find that article, the exact page number, etc., it is easy for you to identify that and read or get that material. So find source. Then select your method, whether you are doing a manual search or an electronic search. So that you select your method of review of literature. Then choose search strategy, especially if it is a electronic search. But at the same time, you have to remember the search strategy is there for manual reading also. There are a lot of indexes are available for manual search also. So you can use search strategy for even for manual search and for the especially for the electronic search. Then read abstract or overview. That is the first thing you have to do, because reading whole article may take 2 hours or 3 hours, and after reading all the whole article, if you find that there is nothing for you, absolutely there is no point related to your study, it's a whole waste. So read abstract first. So that will take only 5 minutes or a maximum of 10 minutes. So you will get an idea whether that article is related to your research study and whether you want to read the whole article. So that read abstract or overview. Then select appropriate literature. So your literature is selected. So this is what you are going to read. Then after reading, just read the whole article, and then you analyze the article critically with a critical mind. From paragraph to paragraph, sentence to sentence, you analyze what exactly done by the researcher, and what are the different aspects of the study, what methodology and statistical analysis are used in that particular study, which type of design is used, whether this design is a good design for this particular study, whether I can use the same design or a different design for my study. So you have to analyze each aspect of the study critically. Then you organize and summarize that particular study. After reading that, you have to organize into different sections, because you, in your mind, you know about your study, how you are planning to organize your study. So this literature organization is related to how you are going to organize your study. So organize informations, and all the information you summarize it. You cannot write down the whole research article into your study, so you have to summarize that. Then prepare the review in a card or a piece of paper. This is called as the research review card. How to write, that we'll discuss as the next point. So prepare review in card. Then identify new reference and leads. So from each article, what is a cross reference? How you can go to other studies by linking this study. So what are the new references and leads from this study? Finally, prepare the final review of literature. So that is a chapter 2 of any research work. Even it is your dissertation or your project work or thesis, and this is going to be the second chapter in all research studies, review of literature. So prepare the final review of literature. So these are the different steps. I'll repeat it once more. Steps in literature review include: identify location, find sources, select methods, choose search strategy, read abstract or overview, select appropriate literature, critically analyze, organize and summarize, prepare review in cards, identify new reference and leads, prepare the final review of literature. Now, next point is about tips for literature review. So I mentioned that we have to write a chapter. That's the second chapter. And this chapter is divided into several sections or subsections. That is organization. Now this organization is something like if you are doing a study on knowledge of healthcare workers about COVID. I mean that is a how the cause, spread and prevention of COVID-19 about healthcare workers. What is their knowledge, and even what is their attitude and how they are practice the prevention. So this is what we are going to do a study about this. So there are some aspect is there in literature review. In your mind itself, you have to prepare how I am going to organize this. For example, what are the different definition of COVID-19? Do you want to add some historical aspect of COVID? Then about the organism, you want to write something, the agent factor. Then about the host factors, the prevalence and mortality of the disease. What are the different educations done or studies related to knowledge, attitude and practice of people under 3 different headings. So you, in your mind itself, you have to divide into your study into different sections or subsections. And what are all the reading material, reading your article, again the same article contains numerous informations. So that you have to divide. About the definition, go to the section 1. From this particular article, same article, you have some prevalence rates, that will go to the section 2. The same article contain maybe some information about knowledge of healthcare workers, that will go to the 4th section. So that divide into different section, and each information you have to enter in different papers. Okay. So this is how we approach writing literature review. So the first point or the first tip to remember is use all possible sources. So what are the important sources are there in the location? Use all possible sources, because we cannot neglect any information. Sometimes we may think that this is a very least important source, but you may get a very important information from the source you are going to neglect. So use all possible sources for getting information. Then second point is flexible and broad thinking for selecting keyword, especially for electronic search. This is also very important, and that we have discussed in the previous class also. What is the importance of selecting a keyword? How you are getting the information, the quality of the information, the quantity of the information, and the type of information that you can gather depend on the keyword you are selecting. Now you can use different type of keywords. First, a broad use of broad keyword, then you can narrow down the keyword and come to the specific area, how many articles you are getting. So always we want to get articles or literature related to your specific topic. So select keyword accordingly so that you will get the important, pertinent, specific information related to your study. Then the third tip is start with recent publication for manual search and use cross-reference to search further. So this should be done always. There are two important aspects. One thing is when we start with a recent publication, you're starting with the recent information. Okay, and all information is maybe changing. The policies will change. Again, we know that when in the month of January or February, the treatment protocol is not the same for COVID-19 as that what we are practicing now. There are a lot of changes are there. So always start with the recent publication. And the second thing is, if you're starting with the recent publication, you will get a good cross-reference without missing much of the information. If you are starting from an old one, the new one will not be there. So these are the two advantages of that. Always start with the recent publication for manual search and use cross-reference to search further. Then electronic search alone will not provide all needed information. That again we have discussed, because electronic search, the information what we are getting is only those information that is entered into an electronic media. There are a lot of other information that was not fed into the electronic media, maybe a very important information, maybe an unpublished information, because there are many studies, theses which are done are kept in the cupboards without publishing, and that will get from a library or location. So these informations are not there in the electronic media. That is why it's only a supplement always. It is not there is literature search for the full meaning. So it's only a supplement. So it's not, you cannot replace manual search by electronic search. That you can do, but manual searching also should be done. Then never put a limit for information, but collect only needed relevant information. You cannot say that, oh, I got 50 journals or 50 material, so I'll stop with this. No, that is not possible, because maybe the 60th information you are going to collect may be most important information and the most relevant information. Maybe you are getting the maximum methodological information from that. So never put a full stop for collecting data, collecting information. But you have to see that you are collecting only the relevant information. And if there may be thousands of journals will be there, but only 100 journal will give you the relevant information related to your study. All the other informations may be very superficial, maybe beating around the bush, or maybe irrelevant information, and that has no value for us. So avoid all those things by reading the abstract itself, and read and collect only the relevant information that is needed and related to your study. As I mentioned before, you are doing a study on HIV/AIDS, millions of articles will be there. But if you are doing a study on practice of health workers related to prevention of HIV, means collect only information what we need, the information only related to practice of health workers related to prevention of HIV. All the other, even knowledge aspect, attitude aspect, many other aspect is not relevant. Even the definition of HIV, vaccine studies, drug studies, all those things are not important for us. What is important is only the practice. So this is the type of information, how we have to collect the relevant information. Then next point is select appropriate reference. Read carefully and critically. These are we have already discussed in the previous topic. Select appropriate reference, and after selecting that, read carefully and with a critical mind. Every point, every aspect of that appropriate study you have to read, you have to classify, group it, and document that. Then again, a systematic method is needed. When you start the study itself, you need a file for literature review. Keep a file, at least one file, with a lot of subsections. If you can keep at least one file for each section, that is always good. For example, as I mentioned before, definition of COVID, one file. Prevalence of COVID, another file. Then knowledge of health workers related to COVID, a third file. And each information you are collecting about definition, you keep in the first file. Each information you are getting about knowledge of health worker, you keep in the third file. So this is a very systematic. And writing, when you write the chapter also, you can take the first file and you can write down all the articles accordingly. There is no need to from here to there in a piece of paper, traveling, reading, cross-referencing, missing something. So there will be a lot of headache if you're not classifying and if you're not doing things systematically. So a systematic method is always needed for writing literature review. Then select significant and relevant content. That is a repetition. That point is important. That's why we're repeating that point. Select significant and relevant content only. And you can document or record that using cards of standard size. I mean, this is mainly for a systematic filing, and everything will look aesthetic, will beautiful if you are using a standard card. That you can make your own card, or the printed cards are available from some of the shops also, bookshop also. And the standard card common size is 4 into 6 inches or 5 into 8 inch cards, and that of printed cards are also available. You can write the information in the printed card, or you make your own cards, or even paper also, A4 paper, or you can tear the A4 paper into 2 pieces. I mean, if only small bits of information you are getting, but always use a standard size paper or a card. Then you enter your information either as quotation, paraphrase, summary, or an evaluation report. How you are going to write your literature review, how you are going to enter your information from this article in your research report. So if you are writing it as a quotation, you can write as a quotation, or you are paraphrasing that, you write like that. If you are writing only the summaries, most of the time we write as a summary. So include the information as a summary or as an evaluation report. So enter that in the same way. Then file each card under definite heading I said. Write subject heading at the top and bibliography at the bottom of the card if it is not a printed card. So on the top you have to write the subject heading. For example, definition of COVID, that is a subject heading. Then you enter the information, and at the bottom of the page you have to write the name of the author, from which journal you got this information, and what is the volume number of the journal, and what is the edition of the journal, and what is the page number of the articles you got. If numerous authors are there, all the information, there are some standard styles are there. According to the standard style you have to enter. Different authors are there, that information you have to enter. If it is a textbook, there is a different format is there, and where the textbook is published, what is the edition of the textbook, in which year the article is published in the journal. So all those information you have to enter as a bibliography information at the bottom of the card. And if the printed card, there will be printed, the points will be printed in the card, you just enter the information, but all this information will be there in the printed card also. So there is no confusion while writing the bibliography of the dissertation or a thesis or a research report at the end, because everything you have, just write down there as a bibliography. Now next point is include only one topic in a card. That's also very important. Otherwise, as I mentioned before, the too many information in a card will spoil the aim, because again we will miss some points, whether I have written this point or that point, whether I repeat this information. So many confusions can occur. That is why include only one topic in a card. That's why I have mentioned that even the foolscap paper may not be needed. Even you can use a half A4 size paper also, if you are getting only a small information. For example, definition, a full paper is not needed. For that you can use a half paper or quarter paper. You can write numerous definition from article and you can file it. Then write neatly, legibly, clearly and completely. That's very important. Along with the next point, never plan to recopy or type information in the card. So whenever you get the information, you write on the first time itself, write it neatly, legibly, clearly and completely. Never think that I will write it somehow, note down all the points, I'll write neatly later. It is not possible in research, because time is valuable. We sometimes forget or we'll go to some other work, and after 3 or 4 days or weeks, if you take this piece of paper, you will not have any idea at all what you read, what you have written, who is the author, in which journal, no idea at all. So whenever information you get, that time itself, take a piece of paper, a standard paper, and write information neatly, legibly, clearly, and completely. Never plan to recopy or retype the information in the card. It is not possible at all. Then keep a supply of note card always with you, because you may get an important information at any time. Sometimes during the conversation with your guiding person. Sometimes you have visited a hospital, in a departmental libraries there, you are getting an information from there. You may think that I'll keep it in mind and I'll write it later. No, it's not possible. Sometimes you are searching in the computer, internet, you are coming across an abstract. You may think that tomorrow also I'll search and write down. Tomorrow when you search, sometimes you will not find that article there. So when and where an information highly relevant to your article you are getting, immediately write down that point with the complete details. Otherwise you will miss that information. You just think that you are missing that information forever. So this will happen because from our experience as researchers, we are just telling this, we will miss that article. So enter that information immediately, that always keep a supply of note card with you. Then spending maximum time and effort in literature review makes the whole research easier. And sometimes you will have no idea at all about your research. You have no idea about which tool I will use, how I will go, and you will get the whole ideas from different literature, because from the beginning of the research, from the beginning of the world, numerous studies have done. So you will get lot of light, lot of guidance from those literature. So you have to spend maximum time in collecting information, reading this information, and critically analyzing those information. And if you are putting maximum effort in that, your whole study, whole research is going to be easy. Then how you write a literature review? That is the next point. Writing a literature review is a creative and complex task which requires skill, expertise, good language, and wide thinking. Now we may think that writing literature review or writing a research report is an easy task. It is not easy, because you have to sit patiently. You have numerous information with you. You have to organize that information. Your creativity should work, and your language, how you are doing that, which research style you are going to use for writing this, your thinking ability, your writing ability, and how you are singing points together, clubbing points together, how you are separating points into different paragraphs, how you are explaining that, how you are quoting numerous studies into your thoughts, how you link that. So all these things are very important. That is why we are saying that writing a literature review is a creative and at the same time a complex task which require numerous skills, expertise, good language, and wide thinking. The style of writing should motivate others for complete reading of content. Now some novels, if you take during the lockdown period, you might have read numerous novels, isn't it? So some novels, if we start reading, we will not stop. We will forget about our lunch or dinner. Somehow we want to complete reading that novel. Whereas some novels, if you take, you will read 1 or 2 pages, then you close down and you will sleep. You can use that as a sleeping pill. So this is the difference. Now, whatever the style you are using for used for writing literature review, that should motivate others to read. So the style of writing should motivate others for complete reading of the content. So this is how there should be some logical connection between one paragraph to another paragraph, one sentence to another sentence, and that would motivate others to read. That should be something like a flow of a river. A smooth flow should be there from sentence to sentence, so that others will be able and motivated to read what you have written. When we look at the styles, there are so lot of accepted styles are there for writing literature report that we'll discuss at the end. But still, for the completion sake, I'll say that there are styles like APA style, that's called as the American Psychologists Association style, Vancouver style for medical literature. This was a style used in a place called Vancouver in Canada. So we call as a Vancouver style of medical literature. Then so many universities and journals are using their own styles, and some of the accepted are the Harvard style, Oxford style, etc. So these styles also you can utilize. So if you are using a style, that you have to follow completely. At the same time, the language also you have to use appropriately. Then it should give the complete overview of all available literature in an organized manner about the topic of study. So all the complete article you have to utilize, and overview of all available literature should be given in an organized manner. That's is very important. You have to organize that. It's not simply cutting and pasting. It's not saying that so and so has said this and another person has mentioned this. It's not cutting or pasting the abstract of other study, but you are writing in your own words, and in between you have to quote other studies. So I am saying that the mortality rate of maybe COVID-19 among elderly is very high. In a study done by so and so, the mortality rate is mentioned as this. And in a study done by another person in United States of America, found the mortality rate as this. So this is how they are giving a logical connection with the other studies. So method of writing a review of literature may vary from one style of writing to another style. As I mentioned, from APA we write this one way, and in the Harvard style or the Vancouver style we write in the different manner. So that may vary from one style to another style, but if you are using a style, you have to stick on to the style for writing the literature from beginning till the end. The next point is write review in author's own words. As I mentioned, this is not cutting and pasting. You not other words, other word, but you have to write your literature review in your own words, and you can use a quotation from other studies, or you can use the summary of other studies, etc. in between, or to support your arguments. Then review of literature is not listing down the abstract of studies, as I mentioned. I mean, old theses around 50 years back, this is how they have written. Each paragraph is started with the author name and their abstract. It's a list of abstracts, but now that has changed. So next point is author should critically analyze other study findings and summarize all classified findings. So each author should critically analyze other study findings and summarize all the and classified findings and use in your own writing. Then interpret others' finding as it is. The review should be objective. The others' findings from other literature, you use in the same way. You cannot change others' findings. What is they have written, you summarize it and fit into your content. Your objectivity, your subjectivity should not be there. It should be objectively written. Okay, so this is how you have to write literature review. Then don't write the whole name of the author or references when write review of literature. Write only the last name of the author and year of publication inside the brackets. So if you are quoting a study, say that for example, one of my study you are quoting, Raji Raghunath. What you have to write is only Raghunath, and inside the bracket, study done by in 2020, bracket 2020, write the findings. So only the last name of the author and year of publication, and then the findings or the summary of the research findings of my study. So this is how you have to write. Don't write the whole name of the author. If too many authors are there, the first author's last name, or references when you write the review of literature, only the last name of the first author and year of publication, and then followed by information. So use standard wordings to describe study findings. For example, you can write according to the author. For example, if my study is according to Raghunath in 2020, comma, this is the findings. So several studies have found that. You have to write whose studies are. For example, Roy, Bina, etc. So these are the authors, these are the findings. Another method, the third method of writing literature review is studies by author 1 and year, and B year suggest that. So both the authors have got the similar findings. So by author A and author B suggest that. And the fourth form is findings from several studies. Write the name of the authors suggest that. These are some of the formats for writing, standard formats for writing literature review. Then reviewer's own opinion is not needed in the description, as I mentioned before, because some of the subjectivity will come into or intrude into the literature review. Then length of literature review depends on availability of the literature, complexity of the study, and purpose of the study. This is a common question by the research students. How many pages I have to write? And that purely depends on the availability of the literature. For example, in a subject topic like HIV/AIDS, numerous material is available. Any aspect, if you are taking, numerous material is there. But for some rare diseases, very less studies are there. So you will get only less number of studies or less literature review page, maybe 2 pages, because not much studies are available. So it depends on the availability of the literature. Then complexity of the study and the purpose of study. For example, in your research report as an undergraduate student, we expect only 3 or 4 pages. Whereas for a PhD study, we may expect 70 or 100 pages for the literature review. So complexity of the study, the literature, the chapter, the length of the chapter will vary. And the purpose of writing literature, for example, a journal article, literature review is less important. Even you have done all those things, but writing part is less important for a journal article. Now, next point is conclude review of literature by emphasizing important findings. So that a conclusion paragraph is needed. And that paragraph, you have to summarize the important findings there and conclusion should be a concise summary of all current findings about the topic of study. There is no need to write down all the author's name and findings together, but only the summary of that. What is the essence of the whole literature review chapter? What is the summary of all your reading? That should be written as a conclusion. Then self-evaluation should be done after writing a review. See for the criteria like whether the review is appropriate, thorough, included all materials, organized properly, that it is systematic, up to date, clear, language is appropriate, objective, and concluded well. You have to do a self-evaluation, and then you give to others, maybe your friend, researcher, or your guide, etc., to read that and to comment on that. So this is how the evaluation is done. So that is the end of this particular unit. I mean, not unit, literature review. But again, there are few points are remaining, like important two forms of libraries that is included in your syllabus is a Cochrane library and the CINAHL. So about that we will discuss in the next class. So we will stop today's class with this point with the tips. So this is a very important unit for examination. So study this unit well from the definition of literature review till the tips of literature review. So we'll continue in the next class with the Cochrane library and the CINAHL, etc.